All right, we'll call the legislative committee to order at 6:30, May 20th. Roll call. Supervisor Gaske.
Here.
Supervisor Garcia is excused. Supervisor Kirby.
Here.
Supervisor Nez.
Here.
Supervisor Nordigan.
Present.
Supervisor Stocker.
Here.
And I'm present. Youth and Governance, John Clinky. Here. Claire Koch.
Here.
All right, citizens' comments. Are there any citizens' comments? Citizens' comments? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Supervisors' comments? Seeing none, so, my comments, I don't have any, but I'm actually going to start with you, John. Is there anything you'd like to say? I know it's your last meeting. I don't know if it's your last meeting, Claire, but we'll give you the floor.
I don't think I have anything. I just like to thank everybody for being helpful. I mean, the few meetings that I've obviously been to, everybody was super helpful with the agenda, reading it, understanding, going through it, making sure that I understood. I'm sure that Claire understood everything that was going on, the implications behind it. So I just want to thank everybody for that.
Appreciate it, Claire.
Yeah, I'd say a similar message. Thank you guys. I think even Kenosha County running this program, I know you guys have the choice to do that every year, but it's really important. I think it means a lot. It's taught me a lot about government. And yeah, I think it's been incredible. So thank you guys. Thank you.
And we appreciate your service for what you brought and wish you well. I think you both could have a good career in politics if that's where you so choose.
Unless you learned your lesson.
We need a approval of the minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll move the minutes. I'll share it. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion, corrections, additions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Youth and Governance?
Aye.
Number 7, resolution urging Governor Evers and the Wisconsin Legislature to support the county courts. Resolutions in front of you. We have the clerk of courts here as well. I'll just briefly speak to it before we start. So as we get into this resolution is a resolution that was drafted in general by the Wisconsin County Association. And to keep everything in continuity with the statewide budget. So some people have said should it be more focused on Kenosha County? The purpose of the resolution is statewide to make sure that we are all kind of in a group. So with that, Madam Clerk.
You stole my thunder.
I didn't have any if I didn't.
So for the last 8 years, the Wisconsin Clerks of Courts Association have been lobbying legislators and trying to educate them on the funding of the court system. So there's county dollars and tax dollars that support the system. It's supposed to be a 50-50 kind of concept. And over the course of the years, it's kind of graduated to an 80-20 with unfunded mandates such as the Advocate Council that I've been preaching, interpreters, costs, things like that. It's really gotten away. So again, for the last 7-8 years, we've been lobbying and we got the attention of Kurt's up in Richland, and we started to put some legislative changes forward. That in turn, we started to talk with the Wisconsin Counties Association. And 2 years ago, a little too late in their budget process, they started paying attention to us, educated themselves, started to do their own research and digging into it. And they determined that, yes, indeed, the county courts are unfunded at a state level. There is no county that is even remotely close at 50-50, and Kenosha included. So we are one of their 3 primary, we are their primary budget ask, and with their support, Governor Evers did put a $70 million allocation into the state budget. And of course, we all know that, that's all subject to that final approval. But the fact that he put in that total dollar amount, we did not expect it. But he realized that the funding differential is just so exorbitant, and that $70 million still doesn't bring us to 50-50, but it does get us a lot closer. So with that, I will urge you to sign off on this, and we'll send our support. There's at least 30 other county boards that have passed this resolution. Some counties, as you might know, do not do supportive resolutions, and that number keeps ticking up as we go through this spring.
Okay, supervisors, any questions?
Are there any mandates that come with the money that's being given by the state?
No, so the money will be funneled through the Director of State Courts office, for their formula allocation down to the counties. But that formula allocation in its current setting is done by the branch, the number of branches in each county. So, and then for one judge counties, they get a kind of like a bonus dollar amount because
But they won't be saying, well, you have to use a portion of this for this.
No.
Okay.
no, it's to completely, but that's my understanding.
Okay.
That's my understanding. There's not supposed Yeah, there's not supposed to be any caveats on it. This is supposed to be part of that general, court support program dollar amount that we get.
Supervisor Norton.
Thank you, Chair Marcy. Can you just tell us what are the things that the kid's doing that the money gets used for? You know, I think there's some obvious things, right? We pay for our district attorney goes to there or no?
No,
Judges?
no.
Okay, good. So get a little clarification on what.
So staffing, guarding ad items, books, copy, office expenses, in theory, any expense associated with it, interpreters, advocate counsel.
That's what I was looking for.
Yes, so those those types of expenses that are outlined in my budget.
So there's certain programs that go through too, or are those all funded differently? So for instance, that place at advocacy and like witnesses and those types, that's funded differently, correct? That's not,
So we pay, the circuit court has a budget expense
Yeah.
for witness fees.
Okay.
Expert witnesses, that goes to
That's-
the district attorney's
okay,
office.
that's, okay, that's.
But like if you're just gonna show up as a normal
Right,
witness to
Okay,
a crime,
that goes to the.
that comes through my
Okay.
office.
Okay.
So we do get reimbursement through the state, not 100% for interpreters. But that advocate counsel and some of those costs we do recoup from the public,
Mhm.
like,
Sure, I remember that part. Okay. All right, good. No, I just wanted to see what else more, that was unclear. I know the DA had theirs. And then we have a judicial, no, the judges all get paid through
through
the
the
state.
state.
Yeah, okay.
The judges and court reporters are paid through the
Yeah.
state, the bailiffs, so they're considered part of my staff too.
Yeah, the bailiff.
The
Okay,
bailiffs, my staff, and all that fringe.
Cool, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, Supervisor.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve. Any other discussion? Youth and governance?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Committee, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimous,
Can I make one more general comment?
with the exception of Supervisor Garcia being excused.
Youth and governance, thank you for your support in that. As part of following their bus tour that they do, I reached, I gave the general statement of come visit the courts at any time. Claire took me up on that offer and came and visited, and we kind of stayed in a little bit of rough contact through the year, and she's actually getting my summer intern this year too, so.
I'm very excited.
Thank you. Congratulations to me. So again, without that program, we would be this, so thank you for that.
Number 8, resolution confirming and ratifying the authority of council for Kenosha County to add additional defendants to the opioid litigation, including MDL 2804. Mr. Cardamone.
Thank you. Good evening, supervisors. I'm assuming you'd like me to take up as much of the next 15 minutes as possible. I did send out an email to the board. The opioid litigation is something that I think is very, very important, but kind of drifts along in the background for 18 to 24 months, and then something happens and I bring it back to the board and have to do a little bit of review as to where things are and how we got here. So just to briefly recap what I put in that email. Back in 2017, Kenosha County, along with nearly every other county in the state, engaged counsel to initiate litigation against opioid manufacturers for their role in creating and perpetuating the opioid crisis that we're still dealing with the after effects of. It was oddly situated. It's not technically a class action suit. Each individual municipality is its own plaintiff and has to handle things individually, but they're all sort of bundled together where one judge is handling them. And it's, you know, because essentially you're dealing with the same parties for the most part, and the same, generally the same sets of attorneys. So in 2017, the county board approved a resolution which authorized the entry into a letter of engagement with these national firms, as well as a state firm, to conduct this litigation. While it was focused on opioid manufacturers, and that was where the litigation started, it has continued to evolve over these past 8 years. And that was contemplated in the engagement letter, which said that if during the course of discovery and litigation, it appeared there were other appropriate parties that bore responsibility, the litigation could continue to evolve as time went on. So the first batch was the significant manufacturers. They then moved on to distributors, from there to pharmacy chains, and now the most recent set of defendants are pharmacy benefit managers. General theory for distributors and the pharmacies and pharmacy managers is that somewhere along the line, someone should said, this seems like an awful lot of doses of opioids going to this community. Are you sure I don't pretend to know whether that's a fair assessment or not, but nonetheless, I think that's the general liability theory. One of the pharmacy benefit managers has been pushing back very strongly against the litigation, not necessarily on the merits, but on the procedural question of, did the counties actually authorize them as a party in the first place? A couple of months ago, I got a public records request seeking any documents and communication related to adding the pharmacy benefit managers or defendants, period, I think, into the lawsuit. And I sent them a copy of the original resolution and engagement letter, and then said, obviously, everything else is covered by privilege because of communications with our lawyers, So nonetheless, we did receive and we were expecting it, we did receive a claim or a notice of claim that is on tonight's board agenda for referral, which essentially boils down to, we don't think that your attorneys have the right to sue us because you haven't properly authorized them to do so. So even though both our attorneys and me find that to be a somewhat spurious defense, nonetheless, in the interest of being clear and trying to eliminate any possible ambiguity or misunderstanding, we are asking for this resolution, which would make it clear that the board is authorizing the addition of these other parties that have been added over the past several years, as well as ratifying any steps that have been taken up to this point. I'll be very frank with you. I think this is designed to be an intimidation move, and it has been somewhat successful. I say that in as much as something like 68 of the 72 counties all signed on to essentially the same group of firms. The other 4, I think, went their own way, but almost everybody is involved in the litigation to one shape or another. Something like 52 or 53 of them are left as far as this group of defendants. So there has been a percentage, not a huge percentage, but a percentage that said, we don't want to get into that fight. We'll just be done with it. So nonetheless, I am asking tonight for approval from this committee so we can take to the board this resolution, which again would just essentially ratify the steps that have been taken up at this point and authorize our attorneys to continue proceeding with this set of defendants.
So the national firm that's handling it for us, are they requesting this resolution?
They are.
As well, because.
Yeah, the litigation team, which consists both of a national firm as well as folks in Wisconsin, ultimately decided that strategically it just made the most sense to try and, I think, remove this as an issue. If they can go back to the courts and say, here you go, it might be the end of the debate. So.
Supervisors, any comments or questions for Mr. Cardinal? If not, we need a motion. Moved. Second. Moved and seconded to approve the resolution. Any other discussion? Want a roll call on this, Joe, or doesn't matter?
I don't think that's
Okay. You think,
Aye.
supervisors?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Before we adjourn,
Yes, sir.
seeing as how I was their mentor, John and Claire's mentor, I just wanted to say it. You guys have been phenomenal. I mean, I know you, John, you could get here as often as you could. I know you're a very busy young man, and Claire, very busy young lady, and you have done phenomenal. Both of you. I really appreciate your input. You don't learn anything unless you actually dig in and get your hands dirty. And in politics, that's just the way things are. I appreciate you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we need to sign this?
Yep, it'll come around here in a second.
Move to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or adjourned?